Hello and welcome to round 20, the penultimate round of the 2025 Super Formula One World Championship, the Watkins Glen Grand Prix. The last of 3 races in the United States sees us in Watkins Glen, New York at Watkins Glen International Racing Course for 38 laps around the 3.4-mile 15-corner track. While we cannot crown a champion today with a 1-point gap between the top 2 drivers, we can see an elimination, as Lando Norris, who currently sits 3rd in the standings, can be eliminated from title contention today, sat 27 points off his teammate Oscar Piastri for the lead. Norris would essentially need to outscore Piastri by at least 1 point to lead the Glen today, no more than 26 points behind. With that being said, let's get ready to take a look at today's starting grid.
Starting at the back, Yuki Tsunoda starts 20th alongside Franco Colapinto in 19th, Kimi Antonelli starts in 18th alongside Alexander Albon in P17, then Gabriele Bortoleto starts P16 next to Oliver Bearman in 15th, ahead of them is Alpine's Pierre Gasly alongside Lance Stroll, then Lewis Hamilton starts 12th next to Esteban Ocon in 11th. Nico Hülkenberg starts off in the points alongside Liam Lawson in 9th, and then Fernando Alonso starts 8th next to Isaac Hadjar in 7th. The user driver Carlos Sainz starts 6th alongside former teammate Charles Leclerc, then championship rivals Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen share row 2. Lando Norris starts P2, behind George Russell taking his record-tying 6th pole position of the year.
And we are underway from Watkins Glen as up front George Russell gets a really good start. Piastri trying to challenge his teammate from the outside into turn 1, but he's got Max Verstappen on the inside to worry about, and it looked like he kept him at bay on the exit, but Verstappen has the better traction and is ahead of his title rival. Side by side go Hadjar and Leclerc through the S's. Leclerc looks to be marginally ahead as Carlos Sainz dropped to 8th on the start, now behind Alonso, but keeping the pressure on. Now the run down towards the bus stop, huge high speed overtaking opportunity down the straight. Norris already looking towards the inside, and he's going to go for it around the outside now, coming out of chicane, and just like that, Lando Norris gets around Russell and quickly into this race early, fighting to stay alive as round the loop they come. Sainz and Hadjar, but they're not done up front. Russell diving down the inside at the chute, and George Russell snatches his lead right back from Lando Norris. Now back under pressure from Verstappen. It's all kicking off here as Sainz ahead of Hadjar runs a bit wide as they enter the boot. Hadjar goes up the inside of the toe and gets ahead, but Sainz will get a toe coming down the boot straight, ducks to the inside, now switches to the outside, weaving, trying to find a way by, and he's lost it, goes spinning around, makes contact with the wall. He's lucky to be facing the right direction now, but he'll drop down the order as Hadjar continues on down the inside of Leclerc in turn 9, and Leclerc drifting out wide. Hadjar squeezes him a touch on the exit and gets up to 5th. Hülkenberg and Alonso making up places to 7th and 8th. There's Sainz still going down in 10th after that spin. Let's take another look at that start. Sainz gets a poor launch off the grid initially, drops behind Hadjar, but up front it all looks even. Piastri trying to follow Russell on the outside line and go around Norris, but that puts Piastri into the hands of Verstappen, who doesn't immediately get the move done as the traction coming out of turn 1 that propels Verstappen into 3rd place, so there's not much Piastri can really do there. Then behind them, Hadjar tries to get ahead of Leclerc, even bumping a bit, but Leclerc keeps his foot in and stays ahead. Then down to the corner known as the heel, Sainz following Hadjar, moves to the inside. Hadjar covers it off, so Sainz goes back outside, but Hadjar slightly pulls back across, and that just throws Sainz off, gets 2 wheels on the grass, drops it, does make contact, just bounces off the barrier and completes the 360. Lawson riding the rear wing of Fernando Alonso down into turn 1, but not yet going for the move, and look at what that does for Carlos Sainz, launching out of turn 1, and now he's right behind Lawson, full throttle all the way up to the S's, and Sainz will want to get this move done. Now, as they weave through the S's side by side, Sainz pulling ahead now, he's going to get a tow to the bus stop, one to the outside, weaves to the inside, he has to be careful not to get on the grass again, he'll have a chance coming up now, decides not to go for it and stays put as Alonso leads them out. Leclerc back under pressure as Hülkenberg looks to the inside going into the heel. Leclerc fighting to hold on to this one and does for the moment, but Hülkenberg now accelerates by and gets past the Ferrari. Solid move. Looks like Alonso and Sainz are going at it, coming out of heel as well. The fellow Spanish countrymen go wheel to wheel up to turn 13. Alonso a tad bit wide on the outside, that keeps Sainz level coming out and into turn 14. Carlos Sainz powering his way through it up into 8th now goes the Williams. Here they come out of the S's, another opportunity for Lando Norris, but Max Verstappen is looking for a move as well. No chance we get 3 wide as Verstappen tucks back underneath. Norris flies through, Verstappen follows. George Russell goes into the bus stop first and comes out 3rd. Alonso under pressure with 4 cars all tucked in behind, each one looking for leverages. Through they come. Lawson is first and he's through now as Hamilton fighting alongside the chicane gets ahead. Here comes Alex Albon. He sneaks ahead coming round the loop. Norris is going to have pressure here from Verstappen into the bus stop chicane. He's moving to pull alongside and Russell's trying to get to the inside as well. Verstappen stays underneath again. Russell stays planted and Russell will speed out of the chicane ahead of Max Verstappen. He already made the move on Verstappen 2 laps later and he's going to have another opportunity to go at Lando Norris. Verstappen not moving aggressively this time. It's between first and second. The door is left open. Russell drives through. Verstappen closely follows. Norris trying not to let that spot go. Coming out of the chicane into the loop, and Norris is just able to keep his McLaren ahead. Leclerc trying to get back ahead of Hülkenberg. Starting 5th, he's dropped back a touch, but now have an opportunity as into the chicane they go. Hülkenberg not looking to defend much as Leclerc sends it up the inside and gets back ahead. Getting back on schedule is the Monegasque. On the way down to the heel when Norris is trying to catch Russell out, going to the inside, barging his way through, not waiting till the chicane this time, and back into the lead goes Norris. And will Verstappen move aside? Yes, another attempt at a move on Russell into the chicane, but once again he slots back underneath. Piastri, however, keeps his foot in and gets by both cars. A double overtake at the chicane. Piastri waiting no longer, and now we have a McLaren 1-2. Verstappen's been utterly patient behind the Mercedes, but you have to think Piastri's move will cause a sense of urgency. This time he looks committed down into turn 1. Verstappen's got the inside and just rolls past George Russell, and just behind him goes Leclerc on Hadjar, making the exact same move. 2 overtakes in turn 1 just now. Something's come alive in Oscar Piastri, who's right on the gearbox of his teammate Norris. McLaren allowing them to race freely, and race they are. Piastri moves to the inside, neck and neck headed to the bus stop. Norris trying to hold on to the place, but Piastri looks to have gotten it. Oscar Piastri now leads the Watkins Glen Grand Prix. Norris didn't give that up easily. Norris says, I'm not waiting around. He's getting the toe down into the heel. He already made this move on Russell. Now he's going forward on Piastri. Lost the lead on this lap. Takes it right back a few corners later. Does Lando Norris, fighting for his season. Sainz swerves to the inside. Got a huge toe through the S's. As soon as they get on the straight, he pulls alongside, and he will have the place on Isaac Hadjar. And he's carrying a ton of speed. Watch for Nico Hülkenberg. He may be next as Sainz wraps around the outside of the loop and make that 2 places back to where he started. P6 for Carlos Sainz. Trying to clear Tsunoda now. Tsunoda's made up a ton of places here early. Started dead last, but he is on a tire disadvantage by this point, and that's going to put him under immense pressure from Sainz coming across the line. Sainz is gaining and strikes down the inside, late on the brakes, and he's up now into 5th place after spinning on lap 1 and falling to 10th. And he may not quite be done yet, as Tsunoda remaining close despite being on older tires. But now as they come down the back stretch, Sainz looking for a move on his former Ferrari teammate. Slides to the inside, into the chicane, and backs out of it late. That puts Tsunoda back on him, and they race out of the chicane. Tsunoda getting on the grass, but Sainz keeps himself ahead, and he's still coming at Leclerc, going to draw alongside as they head down into the chutes, but he's fully ahead by the time they get to the corner, and that's another place gained by Sainz. The Williams clearly quick today. Lando Norris will not pit on this lap. McLaren keeping him out again, but they're bringing in Piastri. So the second car getting the first stop, and now Verstappen has to react because that changes things. Russell has already made his stop as Piastri enters his box to go back onto the soft compound tire. And he will come out just as Verstappen comes in. Red Bull choosing not to go opposite of Piastri. Russell still trying to clear traffic after pitting, and that is certainly not going to help. Looks like contact between him and Tsunoda, and that could completely undo all the work he's done to get back up to the front as Oscar Piastri heads into turn 1, and he will be ahead of Norris. Remember, Norris had the lead on track. McLaren brought the Australian in first, and he benefits now as he inherits the race lead. Verstappen will be next across the line, and Norris can ill afford to drop behind him. He's made a stop as well. Let's see where Norris comes out. It's ahead of Max Verstappen. That is crucial for Norris's race. Clear air to go chase down Piastri. Falling back to 6th after the pit stops, but still fighting to re-enter the top 5. Sainz around the outside of the loop. This time Hülkenberg holds the line, but Sainz got a great run into the chute. Wheel-to-wheel contact, multiple touches as Sainz battles his way through and up into 5th, but not without contact. Sainz trying to get by his former teammate at the second time of asking today. These two haven't met much on track this year, but Sainz is saying hello today as he weaves through the S's, going to the outside, coming down the back straight, firmly takes his position as Leclerc tries to close the door, takes to the grass once more, but he's fully ahead well before they get to the bus stop, and it's P4 once again for Carlos Sainz. Gasly putting the pressure on Russell in the boot, coming up to the heel. Gasly's not scored points since round 14, but points are certainly on the cards today as he moves up to 7th from the inside at turn 12. Russell now just with a lack of pace. More bad news for George Russell as he and Tsunoda pit again with damage after coming together. Just gets worse and worse for them. And I think Stroll may have just made contact with Tsunoda on the racing line there, which is on the pit entry line. Stroll has front wing damage and he will drop off as this now promotes Kimi Antonelli and Isaac Hadjar into the points positions. Gasly doing well to run up in 7th, but that may turn into 8th soon because Antonelli has been revitalized after entering the points today. The young rookie has been on incredible form as of late, and he seeks to continue that form as to the chicane they go, and through goes Antonelli. Now Hadjar tries to follow him through, and does. Gasly dropping 2 spots through the bus stop, and back down to 9th as he goes, and he'll have to defend from Behrman, who is looking for his own chance. Hülkenberg under pressure across the line. Antonelli is not done yet. He's to the inside of the Sauber on the run down to turn 1, and he gets ahead. Make that now 6th place for the rookie who started in 18th. Who's coming out of turn 13 is Oscar Piastri. He of course had been on a run of 2nd places before winning at Road Atlanta, and it came as his 2nd win this season. Well, how about a run of 1sts? It'll be back-to-back wins for Piastri, and yet it comes at the expense of his teammate and one of his title rivals. Oscar Piastri wins the Watkins Glen Grand Prix, and the Aussie has now tied his win count from a year ago, 3 wins, which turned out to be all he needed to win his first title. Now this year, it could prove the exact same, and he'll be very happy to have Norris in between himself and Max Verstappen because Norris is coming into the final corner, and for Lando Norris, it won't be jubilation on his side of the garage. 5 wins in the first 11 races, yet his title fight will not make it to Brazil. Lando Norris takes 2nd, completing the McLaren 1-2. Hülkenberg right on the rear wing of Antonelli up through the S's, giving himself a fighting chance into the bus stop. He moves to the inside. Hadjar behind moves even further. Gasly behind it all as into the chicane they go, and Hadjar up the inside on the Sauber, making up a place on the final lap. He's up into 7th, and Hülkenberg loses out after going on the offensive. So, Oscar Piastri ending the 6-race P2 streak with a 2-race win streak, back-to-back wins. Lando Norris very clearly had winning pace today, as he has for many of the last few races, yet he must settle for P2, only McLaren's 2nd 1-2 of the season and Norris's first podium since Monza, but it comes bittersweetly as Lando Norris is now mathematically eliminated from title contention. Max Verstappen will have to settle for 3rd, as Carlos Sainz in 4th, taking the fastest lap point. Charles Leclerc 5th ahead of P18 starting Antonelli in 6th, Hadjar and Hülkenberg in 7th and 8th, and Gasly and Behrman both scoring the last 2 points positions from 14th and 15th starts. Pole sitter George Russell and 20th starting Yuki Tsunoda clashing multiple times and ruining each other's otherwise great races, no points for them. Lawson and Albon also with drama, falling out of the points. And then there were 2. The 3rd time in 4 years that Brazil will decide our champion, but only the 1st time it hasn't been a 3-way fight. Lando Norris, now nothing he can do, locked into 3rd in the championship. It's a 1 versus 1. Oscar Piastri against Max Verstappen for the 2nd year running. Everything to play for in Brazil. Behind him, Antonelli getting perilously close to passing Hamilton for 5th. Doing so could end the season with the Mercedes rookie ahead of both Ferrari drivers over a full season. Lots of movement further down, both Haas and Sauber with drivers in the points today, and we'll see how that affects the constructors. No position changes in the constructors, but all teams except Aston Martin scored at least a point today. Red Bull breaking their tie with Ferrari, now 5 points ahead going into the final round. Both Sauber and Haas, as well as Alpine, who avoid falling into that dangerous ninth score today, but Hulkenberg's now 8 points in the last 2 races could prove crucial in keeping Sauber afloat, yet only 5 points separate 8th and 10th, so anything can happen with 1 to go. So Oscar Piastri with a huge win at Watkins Glen, and that leaves us with one final race to decide the 2025 SF1 champion. Stay tuned for the season finale in Brazil at Interlagos next time out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then on Project SF1.